Good afternoon to all. Um, Gabriel kind of already stated overview what we do. Now, to achieve and accomplish that passion and mission and goal that he mentioned, um, we focus on the four financial cornerstones, um, four financial cornerstones to find the best fit. Now, those four financial cornerstones, um, we believe that if our clients have a strong foundation of understanding of protection, growth, safety, and tax advantages and how they work, then they can make sound financial decisions about their future goals. So that's why we start there. Now, the other way that we do that, now before I move on to that, we focus here's how we focus on what we do. We represent some of the most highly rated financial providers. So, and that way we're able to really tailor to our clients' needs. So some of them you're probably familiar with, like Nationwide, Prudential, and you may also be familiar with Pacific Life, Transamerica, Everest, AMS, Global Atlantic. Okay. We can go to the next slide. Now, another way of building a strong foundation you can go to the next slide, Dave, because I'm not going over every little stitch and niche on the slides. Dave, you can go to the next slide.
Yeah, is this there? There's no more. I only have three.
Right, it's still showing the first one.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's weird. Let me see. I think it's a zoom then.
Okay.
Let me see here. I think it's probably better that I don't probably put it full screen. Sorry.
Okay.
Is that,
okay, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so one of the things, or another of the things to building a strong foundation is to learn basic foundational financial concepts. And one of those focuses is on compound interest. Okay, you jumped ahead. I needed the one. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. Go back to that one. I jumped ahead. So, but you know what? I'll make it work.
Sorry, is this the right one?
So actually, the last one, if they're in that somehow I put it in the wrong one. I actually looked at that. I'm sorry. Go to the last one.
The last slide?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So one of the concepts that we teach, as I was saying, has to do, it focuses on compound interest. Now, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the rule of 72, if you are, you can put it in the chat. So the rule of 72 is a simple formula to show how compound interest works. So you divide 72 by the interest rate that you get, and this shows approximately how many years it takes for your money to double. So you see here, the lower the interest rate is, the longer it takes your money to go. The higher the interest rate is, the shorter period of time it takes your money to double, the more doubling periods you get. So, for example, if you get 2% interest rate, it'll take your money 36 years to double, and that's just putting the money there, not adding anything to it. If you got a 10% interest rate, your money would double every 7.2 years. And again, that's what just putting the money there and you not per se adding. So that just those amounting doubling periods, I don't know if you can see this, shows you just how much more your money grows here versus here, and even here and here. So it's important to understand compound interest rate and not just put your money in a vehicle. Okay. Now, Einstein said about this that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, and he who understands it earns it, and who doesn't understand it pays. So if you put your money in a vehicle where it's not really compounded, then you're not going to see any growth. Now, one way to understand this is to understand options for your money. Now, there's a lot of vehicles where you put your money, the two basic ones, fixed and index. Now, with the fixed, the interest in the money does not change. With the index, it you see in this example, the index is credited based on the market. Now, index differs from variable in that you do get some of the safety benefits from the fixed. There's a forward, as you can say. Now, so like again, understanding this, so you want to put your money where you're going to see growth. So that's why we advise people to put money in the bank in the checking and saving accounts for long-term goals. Now, if you just want to keep something in the checking and the savings, that's going to be your everyday living expense money or short-term goal, then that's fine. But if you are trying to save for retirement or to buy a home or something more long-term, you're going to want to put it in a vehicle to where you can maximize your growth, you get the compound interest. Now, so the question you should be asking yourself is, what option should I choose for my money? Now, when you're thinking about the options, the next step is to consider the effect that taxes can have on you. Because not only do you have to consider the saving clause, but the taxes. Now, there are three ways that taxes to look at that. Now, there's the taxable, which is your checking accounts, your savings account, CDs. And that's another reason why you don't just want to use checking saving accounts and things like that for long-term savings, because they are taxed, and the amount of interest rate that you get in these accounts is like 0.0 something. So it's like by the time you factor in the taxes and inflation, there hence goes your growth and savings. Then there's the deferred, which is things like your 401ks and your various retirement accounts. They're not taxed now. The money that you put in is not taxed now, but the growth, when you get ready to take the money out, it will be taxed then. And that is why if you're going to have a 401k, you need to find out if it's being matched, and then that will offset that. So in terms of the growth. And then there's tax advantage, which is the box that is the most advantageous, because you want to put your money where you get some tax advantages. So there's life insurance with savings on it that's not taxed. Of course, there's some stipulations you have to meet uh, related to age in terms of withdrawing it, but otherwise, it's money that's not taxed. So, and then there's like Roth IRAs, and so you want to consider all of that when you're choosing. Uh, if you want to reduce the impact of taxes on your money. So then you want to ask yourself the question, am I reducing the impact of taxes? I'm going to put in all three. It's okay to put in all three because like I said, if we have short-term saving goals, yes, you can use the checking and saving account. If you have a 401k or something similar where it's being matched, that's fine. But ideally, you also want to look at where you're maximizing the tax advantages. Now, when it also comes to helping families and individuals and businesses, another way where we need to that we start is we need to start with folks on where they are and where they want to be. And so to do that, we start with a financial needs analysis. And you need to start with the financial needs analysis. And ours is comprehensive and it focuses on 6 areas. Now, there is cash flow, which focuses on how to earn additional income or managing expenses. So, for example, it looks at expenditures and looks at what's being spent. Is there ways to cut some of the expenses? I know right in the current economy with inflation, trying to cut is really hard because everything's got sky high. But for example, let's say if you normally go to Starbucks every day and spend $10, most people probably spend more than $10 a day at Starbucks. But I'm just going to use a $10 figure because it makes the math easy. So if you're spending that's $70 a week, $280 a month that you spend just at Starbucks. So let's say instead of going every day, you make coffee at home. Let's just say at least three of those days. So that is $30 a week, and it's roughly 4 weeks in a month. You just freed up $120 right there. Same thing with other things like eating out. We look at things like that and other ways to try to help you trim down your expenditures where you can. And then, of course, we talk about this. Sometimes you can cut back all you want, and it's just you just can't get water out of a rock or blood out of a turnip. There needs to be more income, and we give you an option for that because we always experiment looking for people to support out there. But and then the other area is debt management, and that is consolidating or eliminating the debt. And within that is showing people how to pay off their credit cards, for example. Because some people pay the minimum on their credit cards, but what they don't realize is that these credit cards have an interest rate, and the minimum, you're not going to see a dent in your overall balance at all because of that. And so you need to pay as much as you can over the minimum to allow for that if you want to get these credit cards paid off. So that's just one thing that we help them with. And then of course, consolidating where they can, give them a plan, kind of what should be paid off first or minimized first. And then there's the emergency fund, showing them how to save 3 months of income and prepare for unexpected expenses, and at least teaching them the importance of having that. So, and then proper protection, because we can put all of the above in place, but if something happens to the primary bread earners or bread earner, then they're still not in a good place. So helping them put the right type of insurance and the right amount of insurance, because insurance is not just to pay for vehicles, to pay for grounds. It's to can also take care of the expenses left behind when you lose that love. Because we can't do anything about the fact that you're going to be grieving that loved one, but at least we can help you put something in place so that you're not dealing with the stress, financial stress, on top of dealing with that grief. And then there's also options to where you help create additional income. Then it's also building wealth, which is how to strive to outpace inflation and minimize taxation, which we talked about earlier. So it covers that. And then also preserving wealth is another area it covers. How to build family legacy. Also address making sure you're prepared so that the state can come in and take what's left or take a portion of it. When something happens to you or your loved one. So what I did do is I gave a general overview of the concept. Now, in terms of actually specific questions, there's not a one size that fits all to this. If you have some questions, I can answer what I can here, but some of your questions may have to do specifically with the dynamics in your situation. So I've put my contact information, including my calendar link, email, contact number, and website. So for starters, you can schedule something. We can start with the financial risk analysis to get an idea where you are to answer some of those specific questions.